So welcome to Game Plan Sunday. Today is June 7, 2020. Pretty crazy week here. So we have like different stories. Okay, we had the stock market, that had a great week last week. Nasdaq hitting brand new highs, record new highs. So for Wall Street, everything was good, right? As far as the economy goes, still, in the same situation. The economy, but it's not as bad as it was, right? Because, all the anticipation, things are slowly opening it up. So it's not as bad as it was. And again, if it's not too bad, then it's pretty much good news these days. And then on a social, the civil side, that's where all the chaos is at. Now, make no mistakes, all the things that's happening on the social atmosphere is going to bleed off into the economy as well. Stock market is pretty much ignoring that right now. As traders, we got to trade what the market gives us, right? But we're just not going to be blind to, all the different things that we see. All right, we're going to try to make, the very best decisions that we can make, executive decisions. Again, we're managing capital here, so we're trying to navigate these waves here and to generate some profit, taking all things in consideration. And the thing that I like about Wall Street Jackboyz, we do it in a group setting. It's not just all me. Like you guys get input. Like it's a beautiful thing. Hopefully, more people will catch on and we can grow, this movement. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. All right. So things that was occurring last week. As you guys can see, we got the ES that's popping right now. ES is clearly above its 200 moving average, which this is bullish. It's above that moving average, so it is bullish. We got some resistance right up here ahead. Okay. Next zone, I don't have it up here, but that's the 100. That's to clear that high here. I don't know if we can actually clear that. However, we did get that clearance on the Nasdaq. So the tech stocks is where all the juice is at, right? Tech is where the sauce is at, right? Tech just keep going and doing what it does. So we're pretty much looking at, again, you're in the middle of a recession. Tech stocks is booming crazy, looking almost like the freaking .com bubble right now. And all this talks about a V-shaped recovery is, V-shaped recovery. This is what they're thinking that the economy is going to do. The only V-shape that's happening is in the stock market. So, and that's on the Nasdaq actually. So we got the V. They didn't lie about that part. We got the V, but it just ain't in the economy. The V is on the Nasdaq. So tech stocks, they've been doing their thing here. It's hard to bet against the tech stocks. It's something that, I just can't even advise to do. Tech stocks are doing what they do. They've been the least impacted by the COVID lockdown. So you think about it, if you have an online business, you don't care about a lockdown, right? People still shopping at Amazon online and, they're doing their thing, right? So quite naturally, I think that, the expectations that these tech stocks will survive this thing, and they have. So we're taking a look at that. And then the Russell, it's mostly, the domestic stocks. This has been pretty much lagging everything else. We've been talking about this. It's definitely far away from its highs. I don't think that it'll ever get back to its highs. We're right here at resistance at the 1557 I got right here. The last high was up here at 1715. I don't think that we'll see that come back. Although anything is possible. Just understand that the whole rally itself is all from the Feds pumping money in the system. And so that's interesting because it's a lot of money that's getting pumped into the system. And I was listening to a meeting with Jerome Powell last week. And we talked about it last Game Plan Sunday, right? So Jerome Powell, he said that, when it was doing the analysis on the economy, that the most impacted people were people that make under $40,000. So most people, who make under $40,000 were the ones who were mostly impacted. And the question that was given to him was about the wealth inequality, at the hands of the Fed. And he said he don't think that they're actually creating the wealth inequality because those people that were mostly impacted by those jobs being, collapsing on them, the Fed, is putting in money so that these companies could hire these people back and get them back working and things like that. And so we got the unemployment numbers last week. Again, employment numbers, you have so many people that's out, out of work, right? over 30 million people that's out of work. And there was a rally. The rally in the stock market really came into fruition from those the job reports that came out. Anticipation. Basically, it's supposed to be like the best numbers ever, right? And if you just look at it off the surface, that you're like, oh wow, that's awesome. But really, you have to go back. The jobs that were lost previously, those jobs, those employers are hiring those people back. So it's not like brand new jobs created. They're trying to hire people back. And it's interesting because Trump, he just passed some kind of executive order, about the PPP. Again, this is the business loans that they got for these businesses. And I'm not too sure all the things that's in it, but what I was seeing, because I was listening to him talk as well, is that they're extending and they're making it better for businesses, so that they can actually longer time frames. They have to pay back the loans and things like that, giving them concessions. And that's interesting because one of the things is that in order for those companies not to have to pay back these loans, all they have to do is hire back their employees. So the goal is to hire people back. One of the issues has been hiring people back because the unemployment benefits are paying people more money than they would make if they went back to work. And so, I think they're trying to create a situation that, maybe they can re-incentivize people to go back to work by, giving them some kind of benefits on top of going back to work. I don't know what they're going to do, but that's something that they're trying to figure out now. So gotta keep our, minds and, eyes open towards those things that's happening with that. But understand the stock market itself is symbolic. So everything that we see that's happening in the stock market is symbolic. It is not the economy. It's very symbolic. You guys know Trump, he prays and worships the stock market. That let him know that the economy is doing so great because the stock market is great. And you should be happy because your 401ks are great, right? But meanwhile, you got over 30 million people that's out of work. And if you go back, because you guys know I get into my economic studies and things like that. If you go back to just go back in time and you'll see when the Federal Reserves were created, with the economic thoughts of the times. One of the things that they discovered is that maximum employment is really important. Okay, we talked about this a couple of weeks back, or actually a couple of months ago. So one of the Fed's mandate that Congress has set them on is maximum employment. Do whatever you can do to keep the maximum amount of people employed. The presidents of the time, the leaders, they definitely see that this is great because it's a political ploy, right? Where if you have massive unemployment, okay, if there's a time during the election, whoever's the president of that time, they're going to lose the election. The politicians know this because it creates civil unrest. Also, it creates chaos, and violence is it goes up extremely high. They don't want that, and so the answer to get the violence down, to get the crime down during times where you have high unemployment, is to get people back employed. And some of those things, again, has come from government spending. Even the Federal Reserve building itself, it was a program created to create jobs. So it's like, oh, just let's make this building so now we can hire people so they can actually build the buildings that keep people employed. So that is, that's something that's always been known, has always been a thing. Okay. We can't skip politics coming up this year. We normally don't really talk about politics, but we can't skip it because this is the election season and the markets are really moving and going to be moving based off of, the political atmosphere. A lot of things that's happening right now is, it's all about the elections, really. Everything has been politicized because it's a fight for power. So just understand that there are real situations that's happening, but politicians, they are the best when it comes to using those things to take advantage. And even corporations too, even corporations. So, and I find that interesting too, because it was like, was a couple of years ago when the LGBT situation was popping. I mean, every corporation was, waving the rainbow flags up and supporting this, that, and the third. And now all of a sudden, all the corporations is on the bandwagon about Black Lives Matter. I mean, will we really see real change? I don't know. I don't know if you're going to see real change, but just observe what's happening and just be, cognizant of what's happening, right? So all of this is really interesting. So I say that because it's a fight for power. It's a couple of wars that's happening right now. For one, you got the China and U.S. war. Okay, China 2025 versus Make America Great Again. That is a war in itself. That's the big war. Then you have the internal war. So that external war we covered. The internal war is, what we're seeing right now. That's going to be the haves and the have-nots, right? I posted pictures and video clips from the movie Joker. If you haven't seen the movie Joker, go and check the movie Joker out. It pretty much prophesied everything that's happening right now. In fact, when the movie was released, the things that we're talking about now were happening in China. And I just thought that was interesting. I brought it back up. I took screenshots. And, it's basically one of those things they're going to turn, against the rich, and the poor. Donald Trump is supposed to be Batman's father, basically, in the movie. That was calling him Wayne equals a fascist, right? So in the Joker, that was this whole thing. Like, you people don't care about me, my life doesn't matter. Right. So now you got Black Lives Don't Matter, right? So all of this is happening in real time. So go back and watch that movie. If you haven't, there's lots of symbolism that's in that movie that exactly matches this point of time that we're living in right now. So I just think that that's all very interesting to me. Lots that you guys can learn from history. These things happen over and over again. They are not brand new. So people that are cyclists and economists, they recognize these things, and you can pretty much call it, So that's what we're seeing, and it's really going to turn this whole situation about capitalism versus socialism. That's what it's going to boil down to with this election season. Has capitalism been working for the good of the people, right? Or has it been working negative towards people? Is socialism the better program for people to move forward to see to get their means to their end? That's what it's basically going to boil down to, right? So I say that so we can actually talk about into the all the civil unrest right now, because that's what's happening, right? So you have George Floyd, who was murdered by the cops. Terrible. Black people rise to the occasion. Black Lives Matter show up, and then you get Antifa that shows up. And Antifa, they got their own fight. Their own fight. They're anti-fascist, but they believe in using violence and things like that. And those are the white boys, crazy white boy, crazy. Black people don't burn down police stations. All right? So we already know black people ain't burning down the police stations. That's white boy crazy stuff right there. Crazy white boys, they do that. So you got them in the mix of all of this, and it's chaos right now. And you have Trump on top of it. He called, last week he talked about Antifa. He labeled them a terrorist organization, terrorist group, or what have you. And the thing is that this Antifa group it's not brand new. They've been around since like the 20s. Apparently, from what I was looking at, they fought against the Nazis and the alt-rights and all this other stuff. And so it's kind of like in certain parties, you get this far right people, and then you get these far left people. Well, these are like the far left people, right? And so they fight against each other. And so they're making their calls. Either way, the country is in a mess. All right. So just understand that. Meanwhile, the Nasdaq hitting new highs. Okay. I find this crazy. I find this very, very crazy. But you can't fight the feds, right? Feds, they're doing what they do. They're pumping in the money. That money is going into Wall Street. It's coming right here first before it ever get to the people, and it's never going to get to the people. So this is actually creating the wealth gap that people are actually fighting over, is the more socialist policies, the government spending. All of this stuff is leading to the wealth gap. All right. That's right. Dustin said, big opportunity for politicians to make a lot of ridiculous promises. You are correct. That's what's going to happen. So politicians will be coming out saying they're going to do this, that, and third, because it's a fight for power. The markets are going to be swaying. Okay. So I think that's really, really interesting. In fact, today, I think my wife was telling me, she's showing me something on Twitter that they're talking about defunding the police departments in certain states. I don't know if you guys saw that. If y'all saw that, let me know if you heard that. But I definitely saw that on Twitter from, was it Minneapolis? They're talking about defunding the police, cutting the police. And so you got to be careful with this. Now, I'm just telling you guys this because y'all know I love you. This is community here. I'm not just talking, stock. We talk about a lot of different things, and we're going to cover the stock. So hold your horses. We're going to get there. But I had to say it because it's alarming, right? You take a time like this, and again, this stuff happens over and over again. Go watch the movie Joker, okay? It's not like an action movie. It is a symbolic movie. They made that movie purposefully for this time. I'm telling you, Hollywood, that's what they did that. So you go check it out and get some clues. But you have a time of civil unrest, okay? And a lot of that, attention is, towards the police, right? And I think rightfully so, right? From what everybody across the world saw in that particular situation. But all that frustration will be taken across, against the entire police department, whatever. I mean, police, around the world, right? And now they're talking about cutting the police, just getting rid of police. Now, can you imagine living in a world with no police? I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody would like to have some kind of police. If somebody rob you, steal you, try to rape you, you're going to want, somebody that can, take up for you. And I think it's all interesting because, and this is what I'm telling you guys this, right, is because we've been talking about this for the longest. The guns are sold out, right? The gold and silver sold out, all right? Now, you can find some guns, but they're weak guns, all right? You find little 22s here and there. Now, if you can find yourself a real gun, man, definitely get it. That is, as of right now, I think that's a great investment, okay? If you don't have any, you should get yourself some because that's why the guns are sold out. People are preparing. People have been preparing. The guns have been sold out since the beginning of this year. But, if there's no police, who's going to protect you? So you have a lot of these store owners and, people, they went, crazy buying up all the guns because they already feel like, well, something's going to happen. I believe even I listened to Obama. Obama came out. He did a speech and he was talking about, I believe the police. I don't know if he was saying, I don't think he said defund the police. I can't really remember, but it was something about like, reforming the police, right? So that's major stuff that's happening right now. And, I don't even know what it's going to look like. If they start defunding the police, you have less police, coming out and people committing crimes. Why are people committing crimes? As we just talked about earlier, when the unemployment is high. Okay. We have record high unemployment. Excuse me. Record high unemployment is never seen before, right? Well, it's like a recipe for a disaster. A perfect recipe for disaster, all wrapped in one, all at the same time. It's hard to get certain ingredients together and timing together. When you get ingredients together, timing together, I mean, geez Louise, I mean, this is like textbook. And in the stock market, we love seeing textbook plays. They're easy to interpret, right? And some of the abstract plays are a little tougher. But in this textbook, it's a no-brainer, right? So you have record amount of people that's unemployed. They ain't got nothing better else to do. But the protests, they in the streets, right? And you got people that's working. They don't have time to be out in the streets protesting because they're working, right? You have all these people out here that's not working, and they're making more money than they were when they were making. They're upset. They're pissed off, rightfully so, understand. They're taking their attention out on, businesses or what have you, and they're at the point that they don't give a damn. So they don't care who hurts. They want the world to feel they hurt. And, I'm not here to debate that. It's just stating the reality of what's happening. Like Shad said, sounds like the purge. Exactly. Okay. I don't know what people are preparing for, but all I can tell you to do is to prepare safety. That's what I have been doing. That's what I will continue to be doing. Do whatever you choose. Now, the key is that Trump needs to sell everybody that the economy is great. Okay. He has the stock market records to show it. He's going to be throwing those numbers out. Hey, this is the greatest economy ever, blah, blah, blah. Because the key is to keep confidence in the markets. That's how you keep the money in there. And as the leader, you can't really blame him, right? Because if he come in and say, the economy is going to slam to hell, I mean, it's literally going to go slam to hell immediately after he says that. He can't say that. It's the same way with CEOs of companies. They always got to calm the masses. Now, he does it from that perspective, but on a social level, he definitely needs to do better. I don't know who his advisors are, but they definitely need to help him out because, again, I don't think that his intentions are bad, but you know how it is. Some people don't know how to position things as well, especially for New York, right? How New Yorkers, a lot of people think that New Yorkers are just rude and, terrible, right? New Yorkers are just blunt people, man. Like, you go to New York, if you ain't never been to New York, you definitely need to go to New York. When you go to New York, people don't have time for, all the small talk and all the nice stuff. They're trying to hurry to get on the subway, trying to catch a train, get here and there. And they don't have time for all that, being nice and stuff. So I can understand how people think that they're rude, right? This guy's, he's Trump. Everybody been knowing Trump for years. But in situations like this, your leadership is called into question if you can't seem to calm the fires in your own nation. So we also had issues with Hong Kong. We talked about where, there's bad blood with U.S. and Hong Kong right now. Trump was talking about, again, I guess something about with the Muslims over there, how they're treating people. But then you got fires in your own backyard that you got to put out. So you can't be worrying about all these other people issues. You got to take care of home. So right at the time he was saying that, that's when the riots and everything broke out. So it's like, okay, Trump, what you going to do to calm these people down? Although you may believe in whatever it is that you believe, you got to do something better with trying to, get the masses together, because they're building up a lot of steam and that's going to work against you, and you don't want that to work against you. So again, you had Colin Powell that came out and endorsed Biden today. I mean, this guy's a Republican, right? That's not good. You had General Mad Dog. Trump was crazy about Mad Dog. He was talking about how ill Mad Dog was. Mad Dog, he's a mean mother effer. I'm like, geez. And this guy coming out condemning Trump, like F Trump, basically. I'm like, wow. So it's not looking good for Trump. Now, whether his followers believe, whatever polls he has, that's not going to work. Again, just looking at the statistics, you have high unemployment rates like this, whoever the president is, they never win. All right. So he got to do something. Don't know what it is, but he definitely got to get that calmed down. So with that, I believe that we're going to see more trouble, more trouble. It's crazy. I was looking at, the markets. We take a look at the retail sector, right? And you take a look at the retail sector was popping, right? Look at that. Now, I understand most people have been on lockdown, haven't really gotten out much, but people are getting out, right? So you take a look at what retail, the crash back in March. All that money's been made back up, right? All that money's been made back up in retail. And it's crazy is I've been to a couple of restaurants this weekend myself. Now, normally I order, but I went out to go see what the environment is looking like, right? Go a couple of restaurants. And it's a lot of places that they've reduced their hours. They cut a lot of hours and things. So they went from being completely locked down to, reducing hours, reducing staff and things like that. And some of them have, transitioned to try to do online ordering. Some of them you can't even order. Just went to this one place, you couldn't even order online. You had to go there and order it. Then I had to wait for like an entire hour. It was just extremely terrible. Those businesses are not going to survive, man. People are not going to, you have to be able to adapt with the changes that's happening. But anyway, it's a lot of blood in the streets with these companies. We got J.C. Penney's, laying up, that's shutting down, completely shutting stores down that'll never open up. You got Pier 1. And we have lots of big retailers. Now, J.C. Penney's is an important situation because in mostly every malls around the country, J.C. Penney's is like the biggest, tenant. They occupy a lot of space. Those real estate investors, they really depend on that. But those stores are never coming back. Who's going to take the place of J.C. Penney's? Your mom and pop store can't go in there and afford to take that space if the economy opens back up or when it opens back up, right? Macy's, they already felt their pain way before here. So who's going to, do that, right? Macy's, they've been pumping up on their online sales. They was tanking way back when. And Dillard's, I forgot Dillard's were even around. I guess you still got Belk, but they already have their spaces. When they get back, they're trying to try to open their spaces back up in the malls and not try to take over JCPenney space. So I just think that's crazy is that, again, Fed money. This is Fed money, right? Boom. But when you look at reality, that's not what's happening in reality. So that makes things gray. It makes things cloudy because what you're seeing in the stock market is not reflected in the real world. Now, how long can this last, right? Well, it can't last forever. So I was listening to Trump. And of course, I like when Trump is telling. I think a lot of people voted for Trump because that guy, he be telling stuff that most people don't know, right? Like he called out Jeb Bush and said, hey, Jeb, I've been buying you for years. Your politicians are paid for, right? People like that, But then he has times when he's selling, right? He's a salesman. He got to sell this stuff. And he was talking crap about Warren Buffett. This is on Friday, right? So I'm listening. So Trump, he bragging about the stock market numbers, right? And then he called out Warren Buffett, right? Because, a lot of people are mad at Warren Buffett. Now, Warren Buffett, he's the oracle. I call him Uncle Warren Buffett, right? Like him or not, I mean, you got to respect him. He's the father of value investing, right? He knows what the hell he is doing. He's been doing this longer than all of us have been alive, right? Probably longer than our parents has been alive. Warren Buffett is like old as crap, and he knows what he's doing. Now, Warren Buffett, his shareholder meeting, he was talking about how he made a mistake and he bought airline stocks, and that was his actual mistake. They were mad at him because he sold off all his airline stocks and everything. And Trump was saying, "Well, the airline stocks are back." Warren Buffett, he made a mistake, man. He should have held on to his airline stocks. He should have bought more. In fact, he should have bought more, right? And some people just take it at surface value, like, yeah, Trump is right, because I mean that's what the stock market is showing, right? A lot of the movement that we had last week was, from these airline stocks, and a lot of that's coming from, optimism from Elon Musk and SpaceX. The whole they did a space launch thing. So people are, some people, because the rest of the world don't even care about space right now, right? They're trying to figure out their next meal. They're trying to get some justice and all that. But there are people that, hey, space is back, and so those airline companies, they benefit from that. They get the contracts. They're the ones who make all the aircraft and all this other stuff. SpaceX, they compete for the resources for that. So these are government contracts. And if you can get the government contracts for a failing business, you don't have to worry about it. The government's going to pay for it. Taxpayer dollars are going to pay for your exploration for space. That's what happens, right? And for me, myself personally, I don't even believe that they can do that. Just in case you hear, I don't believe that they actually went to the moon. I don't believe it's something that you can actually do. I think it's a waste of taxpayer dollars. I think that we can allocate those resources to other better things here on Earth. But it is what it is. You got special interest groups that's lobbying Congress, lobbying presidents. They got to get their agendas, across the big money in this game. So anyway, he had him talking junk about, Warren Buffett, because Warren Buffett sold off all those stocks, right? And Warren Buffett, he's been a net seller, which is crazy because he normally always buys stocks. He's been selling a lot of stocks here. He's still not buying. He's sitting on a huge cash pile. And Warren Buffett says he don't see nothing worth buying. Now, why is it that Warren Buffett says that he doesn't see anything worth buying, but Trump said he should have bought more stocks, right? Right? Because if you take a look at, let's see, what we got here. You take a look at Boeing, right? You see this fall down here, and you see it's rallying up, right? Floor down here, second floor down here. Pop up right here to this resistance, and it's trying to come through this resistance right up here at the 100. All right, so Trump's like, hey, you should have bought this. If you guys understand Warren Buffett's style, when he buys stocks, he's not buying stocks, he's buying businesses, he's buying companies. He's a cash flow investor. He's wanted these companies to deliver value to him for years. It's like a real estate investor who's collecting rent, every month. Those dividend payouts and stuff like that. Well, in order for companies to do that for an investor, they have to turn profit. They have to be profitable. They have to make enough profit to clear all the expenses and everything. And whatever's left over belongs to shareholders. So there's got to be something at the end of the day for the shareholders. Well, Warren Buffett obviously doesn't see that anywhere in the markets. Okay? Because the stock market really hasn't sold. It hasn't sold off enough because we are still actually in a recession. The key is to try to trick people to believe that you're not in a recession anymore. So that's what the stock market is for. So if you look at the stock market, you wouldn't think that the economy is so bad. Here you go to ES right here, S&P 500. Let's get into it. S&P 500 chasing highs. I don't think we're going to get there, but we could. The Nasdaq already blew through it. I do have resistance right here up ahead at about 32.54 right here on the ES. Now, pay attention to this. The S&P 500 it's extremely overbought. Okay. Now you remember, value investors, you buy low, you sell high. Who in the hell is buying at these highs? Well, there are people out there that's, buying into these highs. That is, weird. But it is what it is. So, people are buying highs off of hopes that this thing is going to turn around. It's going to be the greatest story ever, the greatest comeback ever in history, I guess. Nonetheless, these companies got to be able to deliver value. Warren Buffett doesn't see it because the economy was already stretched before COVID hit. It's already overbought. But what I'm looking at here is resistance up ahead. So I believe that we can hit this target. Okay. And that'll probably be tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, Tuesday. Fed's got a meeting on Wednesday. So I think that we can probably get up there by Wednesday. we see that we're in overbought territory. So I think that once we get into the zone, we get some exhaustion right up here at this level, and it's got to come back to the mean. Okay, overbought. So I believe that for the immediate, we can rally up about here, and then I think that's when we hit this break wall. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm looking at. Okay. Also, because of that, taking a look at the let's take a look at the VIX. All right, lots of lines in here. I would clean those up, but these are my levels that actually work, so I'm gonna leave those there. So what I'm gonna do is just annotate here so you can see what we're looking at. The VIX is in a squeeze. Okay, VIX is in a squeeze, and when the VIX is in a squeeze, it's got to fire some way. Okay, this is where we are right here. VIX in the squeeze. That means that we're bottoming out here. The 100 moving average is right there. Okay, so we came from all of that all the way down here to this level here, and you're starting to see that it's starting to consolidate, and before it rallies back up. I don't know how long that's going to take, but this is a floor zone right here. Price look like it's trying to breach that, and we possibly could, but I don't really think that we can really breach that far. I think that it's time for this VIX to turn back up. All right, so I got to play it cautious because of that squeeze that's in there, and it's already in oversold territory. So it's oversold already. It's already at this bottom out, oversold. And what typically happens when it does that, it pops up. Okay. Now I don't know what event is going to cause that. I mean, we have some events that's coming in November, definitely, but I believe this is going to turn up before then. So this summer time, and possibly this week, because that squeeze is in there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sessions on a daily. So it's about time for this thing to make a move. We did have a little false fire there that was short, but it came back the next day. So, I got to keep my eyes on the VIX. I think that the VIX is going to consolidate right here at this level here. So I got this Fibonacci extension, and I got a 200 right there to hold. So I'll be monitoring that. Another thing is that the dollar, right? So I don't think a lot of people have been paying attention to the dollar. We've been talking about the dollar, and we've been noticing that some things, some assets have been moving very oddly through this moment. And one of the things that we went back a couple of weeks back, and we were studying the dollar versus gold and silver and equities, and what we noticed is that when the dollar is strong, that is bad for equities. When the dollar is weak, that is good for equities. So the rally that you've been getting in the markets, I credit it to the dollar. So the dollar actually fell. Now, what everybody was anticipating for the dollar was to go strong here. Demand for the dollar to go up, but it's actually been falling here. And the thing that's interesting is that it's in the it's in the oversold territory. So it's oversold. And when it gets oversold, it bounces back. This is normally, typical for a reversal to happen. And remember, we just talked about when the dollar is strong, equities go weak. Okay. And that's interesting. So if you see like this little bright red candlestick right here, the bright red candlestick, if you notice, whenever I get these here on charts, that's a reversal. Okay. It reverses. Whatever that trend is, it reverses. Right. And so we have one right here. The 786 right here is a floor. Obviously, it hit perfectly and it's holding. Okay. So I got reason to believe that this is going to come back up. And as that come up, equities will go down. Okay. So definitely got a few longs because I got a short-term target, but then we got to look at some shorts too because of the setup that we're looking at here in the dollar. Before we get into that, let's actually cover gold and silver. All right. So with gold, interesting. Gold has struggled at that 1770 target, basically. And let's see here. Gold is struggle right here at the 127 extension. We are an extended squeeze here on gold. Extended squeeze. And we got a sell trigger that was right here. Okay. I got a floor right here that's pretty solid. Okay. That's the 100 moving average. I got some Fibonacci clusters right here at this as a floor. So I believe that what we will see in gold is that it should fall here and consolidate. Okay. Because the squeeze is extended squeezes, they really don't give you the big moves. I mean, we could go back here. See, this was extended squeeze back here. And although the squeeze fired short, we didn't get a big sell-off. It just actually kind of went sideways, right? Those extended squeezes are, they're crazy. If you go to the normal squeezes like this, you get that fire long, right? Normal squeeze, you get, real moves. Because the squeeze is extended, I think that, this is a confusing point. And I think a lot of that had to do with like the dollar really. So basically what I'm looking at here is that gold is it's retracing. It's coming back here to the about 1650 zone right here. The clusters on my Fibonacci and the 100 moving average. And then from there, I think that is going to be a buy zone. Okay. So remember, you can't forget about the economics. The economics is that the Feds are printing money. They're trying to create inflation. Gold and silver is the hedge against inflation. They all know this. Okay. So as they continue to print money, gold and silver will continue to move higher. Okay. So that's what we're looking at. The dollar has been the issue against why the prices haven't been as high. I mean, the gold and silver should be much higher just from the laws of supply and demand because you can't even get your hands on the stuff. We're still on back order. Anybody still on back order? I'm still on back order for some freaking silver right now. I mean, that's just the way it is. They can't get this stuff out the ground fast enough because they don't have it. So they got to get it. So anyway, I know that we'll come down here. Pretty confident that we'll come down here. Now we could come back down to the 1600 levels. That I don't believe, but anything south of this, I mean, I'm a buyer. This is again because the way that the economy is going and the Fed's printing money, keeping interest rates artificially low, that's what it's going to be. All right. So how much time we got? Okay, so cool. So let me actually go ahead and roll through this pretty quickly. Let's see here. All right. So let's take a look at on the bullish side. All right, for a bullish setup, I do like Microsoft for the long side. It is close to the overbought territory, not quite in there. But again, we have some elasticity once we get into that overbought territory, so it's not heavily weighted there. But we keep that in mind. What's important here is that we have a squeeze that's pretty nice, some momentum that's shifting upwards. They have a buy trigger right here. That was the last entry. And that's a real nice candlestick that's on there. I got this target up above, which is close to the 100 on the retracement, 100 retracement. There we go. Yeah, so this projection here is the 100. It's about $193 target. Up above, first stop. Again, I mean, this thing can go up here to about the 200, but I am looking at that 100 to be a 100%, $193 target to be a hard stop here. So that'll be get in. You got enough squeeze dots in here. This thing is ready and ripe. So I like this to the long side. This is the case for equities going up. And what else? Okay. Yeah, you guys, Freddie, I can see you in the chat. And I'll actually take care of you guys' questions here in a moment. All right, cool. Another one is Oracle. That's in a squeeze. Very interesting situation. It's been held up right here at the 200 moving average. Clear resistance, the whole way through. But we have a candlestick that is getting away, breaching through that zone, breaching through the 786. So the squeeze is here. They have earnings coming up. I think that this thing could fire long before earnings come up. So, but the key is we got to see this thing clear this zone. It hasn't cleared it yet, but it's trying to clear it. So I do like that on the positive side. What else? Okay. I think that, let's see. The IBB, Biotech Sector. Okay. This right here, I believe, I'm leaning short on this. Why? Because we have resistance right up here above. Okay. And, these biotech stocks, again, it's a lot of optimism about this coronavirus cure stuff. I believe that, this is going to be more rhetoric and talk about that. Really don't know the whole situation of what it's going to turn out to be. But I can see it's coming down back to this level here. Got momentum shifting downward, right? You even look over here, the momentum shifting down. We got a squeeze in here also, okay? So, I believe that this rally is getting exhausted and looking for some short exposure right here on the sector. So, and let's see what else I got. XRT, we were just talking about XRT, right? I believe this is going to be weak too. I know it popped off, but if you dial into some of these names, I mean, some of these names are, let's see, some of the names in here, like Sprouts, this is one of the, top holdings that's in the sector here. And you can see that, a hard stop right here at that, that brick right there, that wall, that resistance level. There's a sell trigger right in there too. It's in a squeeze. Get some momentum shifting down too. I believe we can come down to this 50. You don't have to play the entire sector, but this is a name, one of the individual names that's in there. All right. So let's see. STZ and TSN again from last week. Okay. And shout out to the OG Ron, man. Like, y'all, Ron is definitely, that's my man. Ron is very active on the site. You guys who haven't been to the website, make sure you go to the site, man. The classes and everything are there. Let me just pull it up real quick for you. All right. Boom. Classes are there. There you have it. And you go to the timeline, you can see, if your teammates out there calling out the plays, are you guys helping each other out? And you see plays. This is a community thing, right? So this is my frame. This is my timeline. So I can see stuff. I can see OG Ron popping off. He's telling you what he's seeing. That's what community is about, right? This is all right on our website, Wallstreet Jackboyz. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. All right. But shout out to the OG Ron. I appreciate you, my man. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and cover some things that you're seeing. STZ, this is Constellation Brands, and this is one of the weed stocks. Yeah, so let me just take that level off and get you some levels in here. Take from that high to this low right here. And it has cleared up to this point here. It is up against a key resistance zone, right? So this stock is up against a 200. And it also has a 786 above it as well. Okay. It is, chasing that overbought territory. It could still go up some more. The next level on this would be about 200. So it's trying to chase the 200, which is right here at the 100 retracement level on the Fibonacci level. And it's pretty much kind of forming your little cup, little handle situation that you got right there. So that could come into fruition. So if that comes into fruition, what I would like to see that come at is about 200. Okay. But because it's up against this key resistance, I got to see it clear that. Okay. If it clears this zone right here, then I think that, it's easy to clear that 786, but 200 would be the next zone. So that's what I think about that. TSN. Okay. It's one of those bounce plays up against resistance. Let's go pull that out. Oh, actually, let's actually get some new levels first. Come on. All right, let's get some new levels on Tyson's Foods. It's one of those companies that was impacted with the meat shortages and stuff. They was getting the COVID cases and all that. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Clearly, we have a floor right here. The move was to get up to the 100 moving average. That's where it's at right now. All right. This candlestick right up here is weak. This is a sign of weakness. The key is to see how it's going to behave up against that resistance zone. It is going into a squeeze, but it's also in an overbought territory. So I'm not seeing this clearness right now. It could, but I would be more cautious on this. I believe that's probably going to be get stopped out by this wall. We'll see. We'll see. If not, your next level is right up there, about $75. And then Pisa. All right. All right, Pisa. Let's set up right here. I'm going to take this swing high to this low, chopping up against resistance. This is a tough one here, but what I'm leaning towards on this one here is the pattern that I see. Okay. Has a squeeze, and that looks good. Momentum is shaky at best, but we have a pattern that is a double topped up against resistance. Double top play. I'm leaning that way. This is a bearish pattern that's there. So, I mean, I don't really know how it's going to play out, but that's what I would be watching for. So the key is to see if this resistance zone holds, and that will make this double top setup true. If it breaches, then the hell with the double tops. That turns into a flag, right? So that's what I see on that. Let's see. Hey, you recently started trading. Okay, Freddie, what's up, my man? I've been looking at stocks to invest in. I found this company called Argo Group Holding and was wondering whether to invest. Could you give some advice? I don't give advice, Freddie, but if you got the stock ticker, we could take a look at it and I can give you a technical analysis on it. Courtney, what's good, Courtney? How see you, my man? Tiffany's. Okay, more retail stocks here. And you know, it's crazy. A lot of these companies are getting plowed through right now with the civil commotion. You know, people with these riots, they're destroying businesses. So, I don't see the optimism in these companies. You know, a lot of them are going to have to close the doors and never open them back up again. Take the insurance money and run. This stock chart right here, I do not like at all. I am short on Tiffany. Tiffany's just, in fact, didn't they file bankruptcy or in the talks of bankruptcy, I believe? I can't really call it. I can't remember. But this is, anytime you see, price movement like that for long periods of time, that's not good signals. Selling off crazy, sell trigger here. I don't want no parts of this thing. And 200 moving average is coming up above. What you'll typically see happens that it may chop around until price gets under that 200. So 120 something dollars on this company. Warren Buffett wouldn't touch this with a long stick. Yeah. Bit of the Bart Simpson pattern. Yeah. All right. So hopefully I answer your question on the YouTube side, man. Definitely you guys make sure you subscribe, share the videos and all of that. And if you haven't, register for the courses, make sure you get that. All right. Anybody got anything else that you want to take a look at? Dustin, did I answer your questions? I think Dustin's pretty good. Experience, Sydney. Sid, you got anything? Sid, man, Sid, what's going on with you, G? What you quiet about, man? I know you got some ideas in your mind. If I can answer those for you, man, let me know. That's right. All right. Trying to see if there's anything else that I need to cover. Coming up this week, I think we have the let me see. Let me look at my calendar here. The national, let's see. Nothing really important. So Monday, nothing really popping. So that should be good for equities and nothing's popping there. Let's see. The FOMC meeting is on Wednesday. So Wednesday, just be on the lookout for Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be, the Fed's, FOMC meeting. Markets is going to be paying attention to that. Markets expectations always the same that the Fed is going to keep the bubble going. And then we got, let's see, is that CPI number? So the inflation number is also on Wednesday. So yeah, Wednesday going to be a very interesting day. PPI numbers, we get those on Thursday. What else we got? Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for what I see. Oh, energy sector was popping too. You know, it's crazy. Because that's who was this? Jonathan was asking about the oil companies. Well, the oil companies, they've been popping. I mean, go to the gas station. I like to use social indicators when I, do the stock market. I'm out and about. I pay attention to social indicators. I mean, how much is gas where you guys are right now? Gas is going up, isn't it? Let's see. Gas is, I think, somewhere around 189, 190 a gallon out here. And in fact, Trump was talking about this too. That's interesting. So oil definitely has an objective, right up here at this target. I got this overlap at right there. That's the target for oil. Hit that bottom. These guys are going to try to get some profits before they sell off. So for the oil sector, you got some more movement in play. And you got to think that people have been pent up in the house for so long. And now that things are opening up, people are rushing to try to get out the house. So we should see, that pick up. The more people travel, the more oil they're going to need. This can help line the pockets of the oil producers a little better, besides the ones that's going to go out of business. So just taking a look at that. That's to cover the whole sector. What's good, man? So I could take a look at your crypto thing too. Glad to see you, my man. Gush. Again, when I see charts that look like this, I stay away from them because there's nothing that I can really gather from it. And it's just chopping sideways. Something is not good there. Investors obviously are not feeling that. And USO, this gives you a little better numbers here. This 50 moving average, I imagine because a lot of people were buying these once they floored, and you're probably just looking for some levels on this. This 50 moving average is what you're going to have to take a look at right here. And that's really not, that's really close by. So this little pink line there, that 50 moving average is what you got to pay attention to see if it clears that. So these are your resistance level up above. And if it comes back up to that 46, it could do that. Let's see what else you had there. UCO. Yeah, and this is another one here that's overbought and really hasn't made much of movement. I can't really see this thing going any further here. Also, Ultra Bloomberg ETF. Yeah, I don't like that. Not at all. Just share this. Okay, I appreciate that, Master. In fact, let me pull up crypto for you guys. The Bitcoin chart that we got here. I posted this in your group last week. Typically I stay away from the Bitcoin, but as of lately, it has been behaving to my levels, and so I feel like I can get some pretty good if it continues to behave towards my levels. Then I can get some good technical analysis on it. What we're seeing in Bitcoin right now is interesting. Okay, we got a squeeze. Okay, we got the trend that's moving up. Things are looking really good for Bitcoin right here. Got some buy triggers that's in here as well. Okay. And what resistance levels do we have up above? Well, we got some levels right up here. These are the resistance zones that we got up. All in all, I am bullish on crypto. I believe crypto is, it's trading above all its moving averages here. Okay. All the moving averages is trading above. And what I was actually looking into this here was the symmetry. So the symmetry, we go back. Let me see if I can give you some different annotation here. Okay. We go back here at this level. Okay. Then what I'm looking at is that a possible symmetry, something like that. Okay. That pretty much matches that story there. Yeah, so that is actually that's what I'm looking at on crypto. I mean, again, the dollar, they're printing more money. Okay. The crypto community is very enthusiastic right now. I'm pretty sure they're not buying stocks. They're gonna put their money in crypto. There are some biases there that's really sketchy about the stock market as itself. And, a lot of people know that the market is manipulated right now. That money's either going to go to gold and silver or crypto. In fact, I saw a video of Robert Kiyosaki. I call him the Godfather. You hear me talk about the Godfather? I call that Robert Kiyosaki talking about the fall of the dollar and everything. And he's telling people, hey man, crypto, gold, silver, that's what you need to be buying. He's a wise guy. You have to make your own decision, right? There's plenty of money to make in the market. So, whatever way you choose, that is what it is, But this is what I see on crypto. I'm not a crypto trader, but just taking a look at it from a technical perspective, it is bullish. Okay. I don't have any charts for those. Let's see. Can you also add a TA on? Okay. Do you have a ticker for that? They have a ticker for it. I can take a look at it. Mentasso. Let's see. Coinbase. Okay. Wow. Let's see. Are you really not gonna let me get that? Doesn't look like they want me to get it. Let's see if this one will work. Oh, yeah, the price movement is really it's really sketchy here. But just taking a look at it, it is bullish. Okay. So anytime we get the moving averages trading stacked up on top of each other, all right, that's clear indication that this is bullish. I don't know if that, maybe this is the high up here. So you can just take these levels here and just average up about right there. It's about 260 up there. I don't like the chart though. We don't have much candlesticks to go over. All right. Let's see. And we're right at time. We're at an hour. Let me see. These last questions here, and then we're bringing it to a close. This is a leading indicator or a lagging indicator. Stock market booming though. The Fed's not letting the stock market fall, at least not now before the elections. Exactly. Crypto, I totally agree with you, my man. That's what the key is, to keep the confidence in the markets, to try to sway the election. So it's a lot of pumping up in here, but I don't know how long they can keep the lies going. Again, Uncle Warren Buffett, he is not buying. He's not touching these stocks. There's nothing worth buying right now. But as traders, we get in, we trade because there's always some money to make, and we have to trade what the market gives us. I just don't want you guys to be blindsided by the the economy and the political atmosphere and all those different things, because I weigh those all in my trading decisions as well. So to answer, who's that? Audace. Let's see. The squeeze, a leading indicator or a lagging indicator. So the squeeze itself, I mean, if you take a look at the squeeze itself is basically Bollinger Bands and momentum. Okay. And the Keltner channels. And the squeeze, the way that you supposed to work the squeeze is that it's supposed to be a leading indicator. It's letting us know that the markets have entered into a consolidation point. It's a quiet point. Most people, if you're not using the indicator, then you wouldn't see that. But your edge is that because you have the indicator, you know how to use it, is that you're seeing that there's energy that's being pent up in here. So it's lots of energy that's being pent up in here. And depending on how the momentum flows, we're going to actually get a launch. It's going to fire off. It's going to be a strong move, south or north. Hard thing is the direction that we don't really know. But when it fires, and you get some really big moves. So definitely, you on the website, if you remember, just we had the classes. In fact, uploading the updated squeeze course here tonight. So that'll be uploaded for you guys tonight. We have new course there tonight that will be uploaded. And so again, I encourage you guys, make sure you check out the website. Okay. Make sure you get the courses. Everything is in here. One of the interesting things I noticed, a lot of these trading companies, these guys out here, a lot of their material is super old. A lot of our stuff is, brand new, remaking, rehashing everything out. You can see it right up in here. Okay. Lots of different things right up in here, brand new, right? You can take a look at the courses, right up in here. So, bingo, there you go. Coursework is all up in there. Materials are in there as well. So you click on that materials tab. If there's any materials that go along with the course, okay, you just click on this tab here, materials. You can download all of that. I did have some questions of people. They want to know how things work on a molecular level. So we addressed a lot of those different things in this new coursework. So you guys You jump in there and you can see, you know, the framework that's all in there, the coursework. So you guys are getting, you know, world-class experience with your education, you're learning, and I'm still not finished yet. I'm still working on stuff all day, every day, trying to deliver the best learning experience that I possibly can. So any suggestions that you guys have, so that we can, you know, continue to deliver value, let me know. And, you know, I definitely would take that in consideration, just like how we did on the YouTube side. You know, I already implemented that for you guys on that side. So make sure you check us out at wallstreetjackboyz.com. Get your training from the best. All right. So with that being said, I'll let you guys get to it. We'll catch up in the markets this week. Peace.